this is my video on basically what I believe. You should be able to gather a pretty good idea of what I believe. I've uploaded some videos before on what I believe. Some I deleted, some I haven't. But this is basic, sort of rough draft as to what I believe. I'm basically a liberal. That's my basic sort of politics. Social values is liberal. I would not consider myself a communist. The main reason I call myself a communist is sort of whatever you say I am type thing to the people who constantly say that I'm some sort of fucking communist. I'm more like a socialist. I believe in a sort of regulated free market. I do believe in free market, but it's more of a regulated form of it. I'm not some sort of racist. I basically believe, uh, everyone should be treated equally as far as race goes. My, um, I'm not a Nazi. My main ties to the concept of a Nazi goes back to a guy named Tom Metzger. And if you don't know who he is, you should look him up. He's sort of a Nazi. He's the only real hardcore sort of neo-Nazi that I know of that's worth listening to. He's very intelligent. If you want to just look up the word Tom Metzger on YouTube. I've heard he's actually part Jewish. I don't know. I know there are people in Israel that are, part Jewish that are named Metzger, but I don't know. But he is very intelligent. But no, I don't believe in discriminating on a state or a national level. I don't believe in states' rights. I'll talk about that later, but basically I don't believe discriminating, and I don't support race mixing. But if somebody wants to do that, that's their choice, and I'm all for it. And I support you in making that choice. As far as state rights go, I was to talk about. As far as gays, what's up with gays goes, I support gay rights 100%. I believe that if you're gay, you should be able to marry whoever you want. The same thing with bisexuals. I believe in gay marriage. I support it. Takes me to states' rights. I believe as far as the right of the state to make laws go, I don't really believe in that. I believe you have a government, essentially you pay taxes to the government to regulate that kind of thing. I don't think states really should control basic human rights. I believe more in the rights of the individual to make whatever choices they want to make. As far as feminists go, actually I'll tie this in with gender, stuff having to do too. I believe I am, in a way, I am a moderate sort of feminist. So far as the original meaning of the word, that I believe in equal rights between the sexes. I essentially personally don't believe in the concept of gender. I do believe in biological sexes. I believe that if somebody wants to do whatever, so far as like so far as if a woman wants to have all the equal rights as a man, I think they should have the right. I believe men should be able to dress however they want and do whatever they want. If a man wants to look kind of like a girl, that should be his right. I believe if a woman wants to look masculine, a lot of them already do that, that's her right. I don't essentially really believe in gender. I believe in essentially, I sort of think that getting rid of gender wouldn't be a bad ideal, or at least sort of, can't think of a word, but like I can't really say a word, but like trying to get rid of gender as much as possible would be a good ideal. As far as wars go, I don't support any of the wars we're in right now. I don't support the Afghanistan war. I don't support the Iraq war, any of the wars. I believe in neutralism. Essentially the same thing with Ron Paul, and I should have tied states' rights in with Ron Paul because I was about to talk about it. But I do believe in a lot of what Ron Paul talks about, stuff for the economy, what he comes right out and says. But I've had sort of a change of opinion on Ron Paul because of his economics, as well as the fact that he believes in something called states' rights. And he did this fucking speech in front of the Confederate flag of all things, where he essentially talks about how one state wanted to outlaw, yeah, I believe it was Texas. You know, who would fuck would have guessed? You know, probably one of the worst fucking states in the union, in my opinion. But he want to talk about how fucking Texas wanted to, or some state wanted to outlaw the rights of gay people, not only to marry, but just to be gay. And of course, Ron Paul said he never supported it, but he said it would not be unconstitutional for them to do that. And he went out and he even said not only did he not support that, he said not only does the Constitution have a right to sodomy, he said the Constitution did not even have a right to privacy. So you're talking about Patriot Act. This guy went ahead and said there's nowhere in the Constitution that even gives you a right to privacy. So forget the fucking Patriot Act. This guy doesn't even believe, you know, I mean, you know. So, yeah, and that's, you know, so I've changed my mind around Paul. I don't really support him. I guess he's about as good as anyone else. He's no worse than Obama at this point in time. I will say, however, I would support Obama over Romney, and I do believe that Ron Paul is probably the best politician going, even though I don't really like him that much. And that's just what overdrafts or some of my basic beliefs, and you know, whatever. P666.